Like everyone gets going nuts.
No, what's this camera in the air?
What?
It's like a red camera.
Oh, I know. No, we had a meme where it was like the whole.
All right, we got a total of 0 people online. Wait,
What is this?
never mind. Hey, Nick.
Hey,
Like, what makes lo-fi special? Like, what makes it unique from something that's just like, chill?
What makes it need to be?
So if anything is just like really chill music, I can describe it as lo-fi.
It's just for when you want to listen to music, but you don't want to like put in the effort to pay attention to it.
I mean, yeah, that's the perfect music for study. That's why it's like, and that's why there's like a whole YouTube video that just like live streams this for study.
I have a habit of first music for studying. So like a couple nights ago, I was up thinking for a project. I was listening to
Oh my God.
like not exactly studying.
well, think about it. You need to work out a fast.
You work in factory.
I particularly find music with lyrics enjoyable for math, but not for anything else, just math.
I'm the opposite, actually. Music with lyrics, I think, more.
All right.
How many people reacted saying that they would know?
5.
Okay, I reacted, so I should get first. I should get prioritized with my pizza.
I mean, we do have plates now, so
Oh, okay.
yeah, feel free to grab pizza.
Okay.
We're gonna
We'll,
bring those up to the front.
yeah, we'll get started in like a minute.
What is the pizza? This is pepperoni.
There's 2 cheese and 2 with pepperoni.
We'll figure out what I mean, you know, you have to try. It's not even date of the actual meeting. I mean, it was a while ago. So, on Saturdays. We were all trained. And screwing off.
That is more than 3. Okay, I think I'm just gonna take this.
Yep.
I don't.
We do have opportunities for more research spots if you want to be credited. We'll see when we get there. But there is a legitimate spot where it's like need help. Nothing.
Is that all right if I take 3 slices?
Sure, go ahead, take 4 if you want.
All right, thank you.
All right.
Hey, Howard.
Thank you for the pizza.
All right, let's get started. Thank you all for coming. Feel free to grab pizza. There's plates and pizza up here too. 2 with cheese, 2 with pepperoni. All right, so what we're gonna do today, first we'll do elections, then we'll do like a very brief review of this past season. We'll jump straight into lightning talks, and that will be it for our very last meeting today. All right, so yeah, I'll just wait for you all to sit down and then we'll jump into elections. Yes, he did. All right. So we have 2 people running for president today. Ranger Chinor and Trevor Richardson. Yep, so who wants to give their speech first? Okay, go ahead, Trevor.
I mean, like, I'm good with whatever.
All right, take it away, Trevor.
I got notes. So.
Forget everything. Second I look.
Okay. Well, hi, everyone. My name is Trevor. I'm currently the program officer here at SSD. And there's several reasons why I'm going for president, but most of them like revolve around just, I really want to see this organization grow. I'm really excited to see where this organization is heading. But sorry. First and foremost, I really like how active and like engaging and like open our discussions have been in the past, like and at meetings. I really want to continue that. And I really like enjoy how our president's been doing that in the past. I also really like how we are like always keeping officers engaged in like every aspect of SSD. So, you know, just continuing that as has been done in the past. I really enjoy that with SSD. But as president, I really want to strive when it comes to recruitment. I feel like we can try to go to a few different like classes that we haven't gone to in the past. Maybe just see if we can get like different audiences involved. And also I want to try and push for like tabling at Turlington to try to get our name out there and getting like the proper permits to do that and stuff like that. I've done tabling in Turlington for like different orgs in the past. It's not something that's hard to do, and we can definitely like get our name out there a lot better by doing stuff like that. Other like small details is that I really want to make sure we like figure out a time like really quickly, using like a when to meet form maybe, and as we're like recruiting, like getting people to like fill that out, because you know getting a room with like the registrar is like a really long process for no reason, and like the quicker we figure out a time, the quicker we can figure out a room, and the quicker we can have like consistent like places to meet. But of course, yeah, jumping on the registrar and like, I feel like constantly like reaching out to them and making sure that they're on top of getting us a room. I've also been involved with them in the past. Of course, I was a Boy Scout, or I was in scouting like pretty much through like half of elementary school, all of middle school, all of high school. I led my troop. I was the SPL. I presented to younger scouts or even scouts at the same age as me. And during like, when I was still in high school, in Kappa Kappa Psi, which is the band service fraternity. I was webmaster for 2 terms, and now I'm finishing up my 2nd term as historian. I've given presentations to my brothers like in KK Psi about like web development. There's a bunch of computer engineering and like computer science majors in that org, believe it or not. I also gave like tons of like fun and quirky presentations about like US history and Florida history. So yeah, like I feel like the best types of presentations are those that are just engaging. So like continuing that, like making sure that like everyone's always involved in all of our presentations and all that type of stuff. But yeah, for all the, I mean, pretty much like during my time in KK Psi, I also like got to present and like write, what do they call, like officer handbooks as well. Those are like really fun to do and get like see like who's gonna like become officers in the future. But and I'm also like a section leader in the Gator band, so I have to teach people like literally how to like play their instrument sometimes, which is fun. And so yeah, I mean, like creating engaging presentations, it's not something like I'm a stranger to, but and I, again, like I said, I love how engaging this organization is. I want to continue that. So, and I also have like a few kind of ideas in mind for presentations next year that I really want to, or next semester that I want to present to the officers and like make sure like they're like get everyone's like opinions on them, and like we can like try some new stuff. And but yeah, I really like how we have like a variety of speakers from a variety of viewpoints, all types of officers, all different types of speakers from like faculty at UF or like companies, but also like we can try to get like other like club members, aren't even necessarily officers to like come up and speak to. I mean, like we're doing tonight for lightning talks, but it doesn't even have to necessarily be like at lightning talks as well. We can sort of get viewpoints from everywhere. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have. My visions for SSD in the future, just to see it become something a lot bigger than it is right now. And I feel like whether or not I become president, I know that the next like group of officers will be able to see that happen and see that go through. Cool.
All right, I also have some notes. Not as official on a phone, but Okay, guys, I think most of you know me. I'm Ranger. I'm currently the vice president and I want to be the president next year, hopefully. So I've been in the club for like 3 years. I've been an officer for 2 of those years. For vice president, I was the outreach officer, which Michael is now doing. He's doing really well. So yeah, I've kind of seen a lot of different leadership styles. I've been here when Blake was president, Varun, Eric, all of their reigns as supreme leader. It's been really great, but I kind of have an idea of different styles and I kind of have an idea of how I want to go about it. So, so as vice president, I've kind of been learning from Eric as we go. Eric's been helping me to like follow in his footsteps, what he does in each meeting, how he prepares for our meetings, things like that. So I feel like I'm pretty well prepared for what lies ahead and what you have to do as president. Also the importance of being able to train the next officers for the future of the club is sometimes as president, you might want to just take control and do what you want, but you have to make sure you're teaching all the other officers what you're doing so that in the future, next president will be really good and the club will be strong in the future. So yeah, on the same topic as Trevor, like kind of exactly the same points, but I want to make our meetings really engaging. I mean, honestly, we've done a really good job of improving that in the past year, but I want our meetings to be like really fun to watch. And I don't want people to get lost and like get bogged down in details. I think the best meetings people are watching, asking questions, having a good time. So I want to improve on that. And that will be me with the involvement officer, working with them to try to see how we can optimize that. And also working with the speaker to make sure that they have places for audiences to speak on the topic, ask questions and things like that for it to be more interactive and stuff. So yeah, I also want to make the community like a little closer together and make it easier for new members to get in, even though they might feel like outsiders a little bit. So I have some kind of ideas I'm still working out, but I think we'll need to start taking like sign in for meetings. And with that, we can start tracking like who's coming to meetings, maybe make it a Discord bot thing. You can see like who's involved in the club and you can like work up to being like a different Discord role or something like active member, something like that. And then maybe with enough points or something, you can get a shirt, make it really fun to be involved and have an incentive to be involved in everything. So basically, I just want to improve the club even more. We've been improving it every year, like by a lot. And it's such a young club that we just have a lot of room to go. So I want to focus on high quality, like engaging meetings. And I just want to bring everyone together. Yeah, please vote me.
Thank you, Ranger. Now, if you intend to vote, then scan this QR code. I'll put the link in the chat for those of you on Zoom. Yeah. Right. Is everyone able to scan it? All right, so how many people are here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, there's 16 people. All right.
Did you post it in Zoom too?
Yeah, I posted it on Zoom. Okay, has everyone voted who wants to vote?
I have to sign in first.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you did sign in for this?
I'm not
Yeah.
signed in on my
Uh-oh.
phone.
Uh-oh.
No,
You
you,
didn't sign in for this. I think I voted for a very random Google account.
yeah, you do need to sign in. but- Just let me know when you have it ready. What?
You're
Like,
starting to
I'm not gonna give any details.
By the way,
Like-
were there any positions that were just uncontested?
As in like only one person ran for them? No, all of the positions have at least like 2 people running for them. All right. All right, so, all right, yeah. So members of SSD, please congratulate Ranger Chinor, who is our new president. Right. So our next in the running is Trevor Richardson and Michael Hayworth. Do you want to?
I mean, this is gonna be everything I just said.
Oh, yeah, so you don't have to talk again, but unless you like really want to. but- Yeah, but Michael couldn't be here today. So he recorded his presentation, so I'll just play it here. Can you guys online hear this?
It's gonna serve as my speech.
Okay, I'm just gonna
So
assume that's a
I've been with
yes.
SSD for a year now. I've been outreach officer for the past semester, and I think I've done a very great job of leading our recruitment efforts at the beginning of the semester. I was, reached out to all of the professors and, helped with the actual presentation of the recruitment effort. And then as my other jobs, I've been very on top of the Discord, sending out announcements and always being readily available. But I think one of my proudest achievements that I've completed so far as outreach officer was the LinkedIn. So our post views have gone up like 600%, followers up almost 1,000%. And we've definitely reached audience. I've had people on LinkedIn message me and ask about SSD, and I've reached out to them and helped grow basically our online presence, which I think is very important. So looking forward, I would like to run for vice president, and I think I would be very suitable for this role, because I understand what the mentality of a new member coming to SSD is. And I think I want to streamline our presentation meeting process and make it more accessible to some of the younger students who are, for example, programming fundamentals 1 and 2. I think that if we make the meetings more simplified and understandable for them, people are going to be more likely to stay and recommend it to their friends. And obviously our new president was just elected. Congratulations to whoever that is. But I will obviously be working very closely with whoever that is and making sure that SSD is just a very great experience, and I'm going to continue to give my all to it. So I hope you will please consider me for the position of vice president, and thank you.
Before you buy, what is the?
What? Oh yeah, if you want to
Oh.
say something.
But I was just gonna say, does anyone like want to read through any of like my main points again? You can say whatever. Okay.
I feel like I would like to hear something.
Okay, yeah, I'll definitely. I won't like, we say everything, but,
Hi, my name's Trevor. I'm currently the program. and I'm a program officer. This is not working. Oh. Okay, well, I think I can remember them. I like how Ranger and I both had like really close ideas. I feel like we would work super well together, but again, like I really want to see SSD strive. I want to see it grow. I really want to push hard when it comes to recruitment. I want to like spearhead that, figure out a meeting time as soon as possible, get a room as soon as possible. Even if it means like requesting the room before we even have a time figured out, which believe it or not, you can do that. You can just request a room and like not like really give them a time. Okay, yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
So here's another QR code for you guys to scan. Hold on. Yep, just scan this. Yeah, and for those of you on Zoom, I'll put in the chat. Are we already out of pizza?
There's one more box. Yeah, there's one more box.
Yeah, so we still have pizza.
Like cheese.
Okay, has everyone voted who wants to vote? Oh, yeah. I mean, like it's not even close. So, yeah. So, all right, members of SSD, please congratulate Trevor Richardson for being our new vice president. I'm gonna unshare my screen and try sharing it again with audio so you guys can hear it. How do I share with audio? Does anyone here know? Yeah, I got it. There we go. Now we're sharing with sound. So the next, I mean, Michael will have another video since he's running for multiple things, but all right, okay. So the next thing is program officer. Trevor threw his hat in the name, but he just won vice president. So we have one candidate, Alex Good. You can give a speech if you want to.
I would like to hear you say something.
So.
I hope it's no pressure.
No worries.
Yeah,
Because
you're-
I'll accept you either way. It's just, I would like to be here.
Yeah, to become program officer, you have to give a speech of at least one word. Okay.
I'd like to make a motion to approve Alex Good for program officer by acclamation. Second, yeah. No one knows Robert's rules.
No objections to the acclamation.
There are no objections by acclamation.
All right. Hey guys, my name's Alex and I've been coming to this club since freshman year, kind of on and off. But this past school year, I've really started to come here and really enjoy my time. I've really seen a lot of things through this club and learn a lot. I really would like to see it grow. One of the responsibilities of this program officer position seems to be finding a room, to have our meetings in, and I'm really good at finding rooms, so I could definitely do that. It's very lucky. It also says I should help with planning, fine tuning everything, and like doing general tasks, which I'm also like super good at. You guys are like so coincidental. It's amazing. In all seriousness though, I will put my full effort into making this club grow. It's been my favorite club so far at UF, and the one I've seriously been attending like almost every meeting I can. And yeah, I want to see it pop off. Thank you.
Thank you, Alex. Good.
I hope I win.
Yep, you guys can scan this QR code if you want to. I mean, I'm not gonna look at the responses, but you know, congratulate Alex Good. He is our new program officer.
Oh, wait, can you actually like vote for the other guy?
No.
I'm not gonna do it.
You can.
Yeah, you can.
Everyone vote for Trevor.
Trevor's gonna be like every other officer. Like Ranger is just gonna be in charge of like all the different variants of Trevor.
I'll come in with like different types of mustaches every time.
Yes,
Like, different
beautiful. Oh my God.
All right, so our next position is treasurer. Jonas, do you want to give your speech first or let Michael?
I'll, Michael.
Okay, all right.
Is this video
So
gonna
you
be like, if
recorded,
you're
like-
watching this, I didn't get this.
It probably.
If you're watching it, I can't.
All right, so this video will be my speech for running for treasurer. Obviously, you've probably already seen my vice president speech if you're hearing this. So all that stuff still remains true, my accomplishments, what I've done in SSD so far, but some specific things that I want to do in treasurer. I do have members of my fraternity who have founded organizations that are funded by student government, and I can definitely work with them and help make our process for getting funded by student government a lot easier, because I know we've struggled with doing that in the past. So I just want to, work with them and get some advice from them basically on how we can better manage the club's financials. So obviously all my work that I plan to, do work with the rest of the board. So I hope you would consider me for treasurer. Thank you.
So, hi, I'm Jonas Bahare. I've been an active member of SSD for about a year and a half now, and I wanted to get involved in the leadership for this club because honestly, this organization has given so much to me in my time as a student here. If you've ever been active on a Discord or at the club meeting, you've probably seen me badgering our previous leaders here for advice before, and it's honestly helped me get so far in ways I wouldn't have expected. And I feel like it would only be right for me to give back and to keep that legacy going forward. So first things first, when it comes to responsibilities as treasurer, I work for SAI directly for them. So any questions we have about anything related to SV finance or anything related to the club, I'm in the office with the people who run a division of student life every day. They know my name, they know my face. And basically, if you vote for me, we'll have a man on the inside. And I can and I can assure you that we will have all up-to-date information. I want to make sure that we will have the funding to keep all our lovely pizzas like this going, to have our bowling nights going and keep those funded. And I'm someone who's also very rigid with finances myself. I know most of y'all probably don't know how I treat my personal finances, but it's something I take very seriously in terms of budgeting, keeping track of everything. And I promise that I will take the finances for this club just as seriously as well.
So thank you, Jonas. Here is a QR code for you guys to vote. And yeah, and I posted the link in the chat for those of you on Zoom. Okay, has everyone voted who wants to vote? Okay, epic. So please congratulate Jonas for becoming our new treasurer. great stuff. Our next election is involvement officer. Okay, yeah, so Ranger also said he would run for involvement officer in case he doesn't become president of the club. But he did become president of the club, so that just leaves me. What a coincidence. Yeah, so as you guys know, I just stepped down from being president. I was president for this past year. I think this year has been really, really great. Like this past school year, like the fall and spring, I think we like doubled our numbers from like the previous school year, because the most important part of any club is like the community. And as involvement officer, my job is to like kind of improve the community, because when I first joined SSD, I felt welcome, and it really helped me develop myself as a developer. But a great choice of words. But yeah, like the fact that like I've never seen a different club where people consistently stay like another 20-30 minutes after the meeting just to like continue chilling, talking, discussing, asking questions. And that speaks really well of the club. Like I said, the most important part of any club is the community, and so I will help grow that as involvement officer. Yep. Thank you guys. Awesome. Vote for me.
Vote for you, but you're still off.
Oh, okay. Anyways, I mean, who do you-
I'm sorry, I'm just too lazy. I'm just too lazy right now.
all right. So that leaves us one election. Outreach officer. Epic. Okay. Let's ignore that. Okay.
Congratulations, Michael. Whatever you may be.
Yeah, congratulations, Michael. Like I said, he couldn't be here today. He had like a really important event but I'm sure he'll be happy with the news, probably. But yeah, awesome. So yeah, so we have 6 new officers, really great stuff. Just want to do like a really brief review of this past year. So we had 13 meetings, which is kind of impressive in my opinion. But yeah, we had a planning meeting. We had like an intro to software development. We had we had like an intro to Git and like a beginner and advanced. We had an Minecraft meeting, natural language processing, UX design, front end, Verizon, JP Morgan, programming languages, a bowling night, a software testing, and now today, this is our last meeting. So, really great stuff. Stay tuned for the fall. I'm already planning stuff for the fall. I plan on giving 5 presentations. So first one, mobile development, it'll be like, intro to mobile development. I'll go into native apps, cross-platform apps, progressive web apps. And of course, I'll do like a demo, really great stuff for you guys. Cloud computing. Once again, I'll try to make this introductory so that people don't get lost in the sauce. I'll talk about serverless, really great stuff. I'll have a demo. Yeah. Web 3.0. So, a problem with cloud computing is that or just the internet in general, is that it's really centralized. Companies like Amazon and Facebook have a huge amount of power. And so Web 3.0 aims to kind of decentralize the internet with blockchain. And so we'll have a meeting on Web 3.0 in the fall. It'll be really cool. Some things you can do with Web 3.0 is like authentication by smart contract, decentralized data storage. We'll look into how apps are made with Web 3.0. Really great stuff. APIs and backend. We haven't had a meeting on APIs and backend at all. I'm not sure if we've ever had one, but yeah, really great stuff to get into. I'll make it kind of a practical meeting. So we'll go into Node.js, event-driven programming, some use of public APIs, and of course, we'll have a cool demo. Accessibility, we kind of touched on it last week, but it's really important. And then in addition to that, also how you can look at analytics on your website, but there's a chat here. Oh yeah. yeah, how you can look at like analytics on your website, like see how people are using it. We'll look at search engine optimization. Really great stuff that, even you guys can use on your personal website. Yeah, and so those are 5 meetings that I'm really looking forward to. Even though I'm stepping down as president, really trying to help the club in my final year here at UF. Yep, so really, and of course, we'll have socials. Do you guys we've had we've kind of experimented with socials this past year. We had like 2 Minecraft meetings, we had a bowling night. Is there any like some sort of socials that you guys are like kind of have like on your mind that you guys would want for like the fall or even the summer, really? Like
I did love Minecraft and I would like to see that return.
yeah.
I was gonna say the Minecraft servers and.
Yeah, no, it needs people. Like, we need to build like an economy and like everything. Like, I built this 2-tiered iron golem farm and it's just like the chests are full. No one's using iron. It's sad.
Should we restart the server in the fall? Or
I think that the server should be restart at least every year, possibly every semester.
We should vote on that.
Yeah.
It really depends, because remember, like, the game is updating and giving new versions and other things like that. So there is that too.
Maybe once people are like done with like their finals and stuff, we can promote the server more for SS Summer.
SS Summer. No.
SS Summer,
We're
okay.
expanding that to more letters now.
Yeah, SSD Summer. Yeah, if there's ever a really cool update, then we'll update the server. But yeah, we'll have another bowling night. We'll have another Minecraft night. People really seem to like it. Oh yeah, another thing about the fall, we're looking to get an office in the new engineering building, the one that's right next to the Wrights. So I don't know if it would be kind of a 24/7 office that we would like always have, but we're trying to get it for our weekly hackathons that we have every Saturday at noon. We usually have them in Marston, but we have to go through the trouble of always reserving the room, and sometimes we get kicked out. So we're trying to get like a dedicated office in the new engineering building. We sadly couldn't get shirts this semester because we realized that we didn't actually have funding this semester, but we will have funding for this coming summer and fall. And yeah, we're looking to order the shirts in the fall. In the summer, and hand them out in the fall. So really great stuff. I designed the shirt. It's a really basic design.
Are you like not allowed to like hand out shirts unless it's like approved by, like,
Yeah, so like our shirts are funded by student government, and so student government makes everything so complicated. It's a really tough process, and also in addition to that, if we use student government funding, then we also have to put their logo on our shirts. So we'll probably put it like on the back or something. Yeah, we'll put it like on the inside, on the lower back, probably. So.
Just put on a tag.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, Nick just said we should restart the server every semester. Yeah.
Kind of a stolen other club, but maybe like we do like some sort of potluck.
Oh yeah.
I mean, we wouldn't do that, but.
So wait, will the server be reset for the summer semester or just until the fall, or at the beginning of the fall?
We'll probably restart it in the fall, when we have Minecraft social in the fall.
Okay, so the current server will persist for the summer.
Yeah. So, none of your cows or sheep will die yet. But, yep. All right. Any Oh yeah. Yeah, we might have a golf with your friends social.
So we're never going to play Among Us then.
Among Us is a dead game and it's bad. So sorry.
You have a light right there, and it's out of the door.
It's evolved past the game.
I did not put that there. I don't know where that came from. I'm sorry. But yeah. Any other thoughts about this past semester or even like this past entire school year of SSD? Yeah. Awesome. Epic. We're all rock stars here. But yeah, thank you all for a great semester. And now we're going to jump into lightning talks. So lightning talks if you're not familiar with. Now it's your turn to give the presentation, so anyone can give a talk if you want. It's all voluntary. So some people wanted to give like some quick 5-minute talks. It can be fun, it can be funny, it can be informational, or just a simple project demo. We've had some really great talks in the past, and anyone can give a talk. It can be on anything really. Not even, it doesn't even have to be programming related. Like one time Trevor played the tuba, right? Like, yeah. So Blake wanted to go first. His talk is on software
Not even close.
development.
Okay. Yeah, so,
I think I forgot to put the link for this slide.
no, there's no slides.
Oh, okay.
So long story short, I considered making slides for this, but the point of this is not really to like give a talk per se, it's just kind of to talk a little bit. So I'm just gonna rely on a little bit of notes that I have here, a little bit of notes. And then just try to keep on track a little bit as I ramble through some things. So the main thing that I want to talk about right now is what it means to kind of be successful, particularly in computer science, but at least at this stage in our careers, and kind of the role that SSD kind of plays in that, as kind of a little bit of a going away last advice type of thing, as well as some incoming advice to the next kind of generation of leadership here. So I'm going to mostly focus on that, but I want to talk a little bit about some SSD history just for context on things. So contrary to popular belief, it's a lot. I didn't start programming until senior year of high school. So I've only been programming for about 5 years. It's not something that I've done since I was a kid or anything like that. It wasn't something that I really had an interest in either until that point. It took a friend in high school for me to actually jump into computer science class because I didn't think I was actually capable of doing it. I found out that I enjoyed it and I had a lot of fun with it. And so I did it slightly too much. And so the rest kind of trailed from there. But it just kind of fell into place more than it was something, that I worked toward for a long time per se. So to that extent, the experience difference there is something that you can make up and that you can kind of work on through things. I kind of cut my teeth building a bunch of Minecraft plugins. So that was kind of one of the first things that I did. And when I ended up going to UF, I took their programming 2 class, which at the time, Joshua Fox runs it now, but before that, it was another professor who kind of did a miserable job with it. And we had a group project for that semester. And what I kind of realized is that a lot of the people in that group, they could write reasonable code for the most part, right? The things that you would expect someone in programming 2 to be able to do and solve some of the problems there and do a bit beyond that as well. But the part that was kind of breaking down for them was the whole software design aspect, right? We were building a text venture game. And so you had these whole things like systems to manage the map, systems to process commands that the user was entering in text, and do other various things like that. And it was a very tricky process. When I kind of realized that they didn't have that experience with software design to be able to do much there. And I was kind of looking at, what are the next classes? What are some of the upperclassmen here thinking? And the sentiment there was pretty much the same. There's no real class that really tackles software design or anything like that, right? Like you've probably never been in a class that has like actually done a code review, right? If you've been in an internship, you have a supervisor or another developer who looks over your actual code and is giving you feedback on things. And there's no class at UF that does anything like that. And so kind of going through that experience and talking to people in my group and other things like that, I ended up deciding to create an organization in software design. And one of the officers who did it with me was actually one of the people in that group as well. So another kind of related note too is that the officers that kind of initially founded SSD, all of us had kind of had experience with some type of external consulting. We were building development projects for other people. And so we were dealing with that type of thing of they have their own expectations for the work and we were kind of building off of that. And that's a very interesting thing. And I'll touch briefly on that here in a sec. So anyways, that's kind of the main start to things. And so from there was kind of some rocky roads to kind of get things rolling. There was one meeting there no one showed up to because it was raining. So I sent an email to the entire organization thanking the people who came through the rain to show up. So that was a fun one. But there were various different things like that. And it took about a year or so for things to get foothold, but there were some people around. So Eric and Ranger were kind of out in those types of years as well. And so kind of building up from that, you get a solid group of people and then you kind of expand out from that. But like Eric said earlier, the community of that people is really what makes the organization is what keeps things going. And the most important thing there is that you have people who are well prepared and trained to be officers ready to take things on for the next step. So I want to throw out some kind of two categories of advice. One that's kind of general advice, and then the second that's a little bit more about SSD in particular and why SSD kind of follows through on helping people carry out the advice for individuals that I'm going to say here. And so the first thing is I really think it's important to work on a personal project. I really do. So you want to try to find a particular problem that you're trying to solve and kind of go through things from there. If you kind of go into things like, I want to get experience with this technology, you can do that, and that's great and all, but if you don't see it through to the end, then the project kind of loses a lot of benefit, right? The first 80% takes up, 80% of the time. The next 20% takes up the other 80% of the time, right? It's that last small push is where you're going to, tackle all of the challenges that you haven't known how to solve yet. And it's also where you're going to find out where in the first 80% of the things that happened, where do those puzzle pieces not fit together anymore, and where those kind of break down. And that's really huge. This also is really important for interviews, and it's what kind of matters most for handling things there. When you go and talk with interviewers about different projects and stuff, they want to get your understanding of the project in general and a little less of the technology, right? When you talk to interviewers, they get so many people that come up to them with, this class project or whatever they worked on where they're not really passionate about it to begin with, and they only have a small understanding of what was actually done for it, right? Like even if you're the person who did like 70, 80% of the work in that group, there's probably not as much going on as you might think there is. It's really the personal stuff, and the interviewers can tell when someone actually cares about the project versus when they're just talking about something. So it's very obvious for that. So the other thing that I'll kind of add here too is that I would generally say that for computer science, depth is better than breadth, right? There's kind of a huge push for people to learn a large variety of languages and other things like that, or to learn a large amount of frameworks or different things. You can do website and mobile development, all these different things. And the answer is that really just computer science is too big where it's too difficult to do that. You have to pick a specific area and kind of focus in on that so that you're competent in that area. Because there's so much that you have to know to even be kind of competitive for any individual position in that area. And so to that extent, I would definitely recommend using a personal project as a way to get that depth in particular areas and things like that. For languages, for instance, because it's the area that I know, while I do recommend experiencing a variety of languages, I mainly say that as a way to understand and classify particular features in languages, not to claim that you know a large variety of languages, right? If you know the differences between Java and JavaScript, you can talk about those and use them properly at a much more higher level, but that's not to say that you know that language. You really don't know a language until you know things like the standard library, the best practices and conventions, and a lot of the little nuances that exist in between. So considering that, the role of SSD kind of at that point is really to play a role to help kind of expose people to new ideas and other things like that they might not be considering before. So accessibility is kind of one of the standard examples here because very few people are aware of the type of things there or its importance because there are legal requirements for accessibility that need to be considered. And so other things like that and proper error handling is another huge one that's important for good software engineering. And if you're able to kind of really get a good solid grasp of those processes, you're going to be able to have a much better portfolio and you have a much better time in interviews because the list of things that you have on your resume will get you past the screening phase, but it's not going to get you through the interview phase, right? Even after, the leak code thing, everyone always says the leak code is like the major blocker. I'm not sure, right? I think it's really that, second or third interview where they're asking you about your projects, your experiences, software development stuff, and other things, which is where a lot of people have a much harder time, right? So personal projects is a great way to do that. And one of the things that you need to do is be aware of different types of technologies, things like that you can do to consider things. So the last thing that I'll kind of say is really more toward the next leadership. And I would say teamwork and delegation is really important. It's a really difficult skill. Delegation in particular is hard. One thing I'll say on delegation is that you can delegate authority, but not responsibility. So what that means is effectively you can tell other people to do things, but you still need to make sure that that gets done at the end of the day, right? You can't pass something off for someone else and then say, oh, well, they didn't do it. It's their fault, not mine, right? So being able to work closely with people and stay on top of that and offer them help and assistance when they need it is one of the most important things for that type of successful leadership relationship. And so the kind of main thing there is you want to be trying to delegate stuff to people so you can give them opportunities to get experience. So that way they're ready to go through and become the officer that replaces you in the next year. So, or whenever. And so that's huge things. And then finally, I'll remind, someone kind of mentioned it earlier that you can even have people who are speakers who are not officers, but just normal SSD members. And that's a perfectly good thing too. You can delegate to people who are not officers, right? You can delegate out to, you know, people who are just members of SSD or people that maybe they're not members of SSD, they're in other organizations, but they're very experienced and interested in something. Or they're, you know, people from industry who really know what's going on. And the key thing there that I'll say with different programs is that there's something, and I, you know, a couple people have said on this night, but I will say that, you know, when you're on the officers, your goal is not necessarily to execute as much, right? You know, you talk about things like, I want to make sure all the presentations are good and everything like that. And that's good. You should be doing that, but that doesn't mean you have to do it and build it yourself, right? You can delegate those opportunities to people like guest speakers to come in and handle things like that. You can do other things, but like if you're the president, you know, you don't have to make every damn presentation on your own, right? I had to spend multiple hours doing that before, like, you know, meetings on Wednesdays. It was brutal, right? You know, the farther we go along, the more that Eric can rely on other officers to help with that, the more that Ranger can rely on officers, right? So say. The very last thing I'll say is that like 90% of life is kind of just showing up. That doesn't mean if you just show up per se, things will end well, but there's a huge component in that where you really do need to consider what opportunities can I put myself in front of that I'm going to be able to benefit from. And that was something that SSD took advantage of very early on. We were able to go to things like the Industry Advisory Board way before we were really known as an organization. We also hosted kind of multiple things through the computer science department. They were big. And then for a long time, when the computer science department had their like guest speakers, you know, they had a luncheon afterwards and we would send hordes of people at these things because no other organizations were doing it, right? There are times there would be 8 of us and then like 3 people from other organizations, right? Like we would absolutely dominate things like that. And that type of thing is huge. So be on the lookout for those opportunities, especially as things kind of return more to normal over the next year. And I say that both to the officers, but also to members as well, right? Keep an eye out for those types of things because you never know what'll happen. So with that, I'll say, Ranger, congratulations, you, Trevor, and all the other officers. Best of luck in the next year, and we'll see how it goes. So it's always a little nerve-wracking to kind of keep passing things down the line as someone who kind of created the organization. But you know, Eric's done a really good job for things in here, and I have strong faith that Ranger will continue to do the same. So please, other officers as well as members, do the best you can to support them, and good luck to SSD.
Yeah, so Blake founded the club, what, like 4 years ago? Yeah, and he's been with the club ever since. I've honestly asked too many things of Blake, but yeah. All right, who wants to give the next talk? Trevor, I know you had one. All right. All right, Sia Kaijun. Oh, okay. Here we go.
Okay, I like Python. I like it way too much. So my name's Trevor and I like Python. You can do stuff with Python. This is a list of stuff that I just copied from Google. And I look for dumb reasons to use Python in my life. So does anyone here use YouTube Music? Well, before YouTube Music, we had Google Play Music, and then they forced us to move to YouTube Music. And then they also took away like half the features that I liked about Google Music. And one of those features was being able to just say, like, I want to download my entire library to my phone. So I don't have to, like, if, you know, because when I drive home, that 2-hour drive, I have like no service at all. But then like YouTube Music, you can't just download your whole library. You have to like download playlists and your library isn't a playlist, I guess. So I made this thing that like uses this unofficial YouTube Music API. You can see like that on the top when I import it. It was not made by YouTube, it was made by like some random guy, but like just in this simple line of codes, like few lines of code, like I just re-implement, like, I mean, like I just make like a playlist using like my library and then I download that playlist and yeah, simple problem solved, like using Python. I can like just quickly go over this. This is a cookie, like basically, I mean, it contains information about a cookie. I'm just giving some random API on my cookie because I don't care about security, but like, this is the playlist ID that, like it's gonna put like the library, like it's gonna read through my library and it's gonna like copy music over there. And then it's just going through each song, copying it. And then what it's doing here, see how like it removes it. So it also like it also like loops through and it's like, oh, hey, like this song isn't actually like, if the song is like not in, oh yeah, by the way, YouTube Music is like really fucking stupid. It calls songs like video IDs. It gives them like the song ID is like a video, they call it video. I don't know why they do that, but like it was like that the whole time. This is like just like a really like slimmed down version of what I had, but yeah, because yeah. And then also I use YouTube a lot. So this is from a project that I did a couple years ago with another tuba player. By the way, I play tuba. And she also, she's a computer engineer. And we made this YouTube clickbait generator. So it like generates YouTube clickbait titles. And we used Python to like interact with the YouTube API. But this is the actual like official YouTube API. This isn't like some random one. Sorry, this isn't like some random like one that I just like found. But it uses this like thing called the Google App Client. I can't remember exactly like how it works well, but like you give these parameters, and then you can get like pages of like content. So basically what I did is I just asked it for like the most like popular like names of like most popular videos, and then like it gives you pages, and then each page has, I just told it to give me like a max of 10 results per page so that I can like cut it up evenly. I can't like the actual like maximum number wasn't like a multiple of 10. It was like 57 or something. I don't know why, but like if you like set a max, it'll like reduce the number of like names per page. So like while there's a next page token, meaning like while there's a next page, they do it really weird. I don't know why, but then you get like a response. It works kind of like socket programming, but not. And I'm going to show you the video. Yeah, we were Epic Team Tuba number of 108 because this was for a class project and our team was number 108. Nope, you're not going to hear my voice. But we use this thing called JavaFX because like it had to involve some sort of like user interactive like interface. So whatever, you can like set these parameters to that these just get sent to like the API. Like you can set your country, so like it'll only like use titles from like the US. And then we like put in some like extra, anyways, we got like, I got ham and this is what happened. Brand new village woke, yeah, day responsibility release nuclear nights. Those are, yeah, that's how the clickbait generator works. Cool. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna do the next lightning talk. Yeah, so where is it? Where's the slide? Oh yeah, I don't even have a slide. I just have a website. Yeah, so yeah, so Alex and Jonas and I here, we made this website. Well, we started making it for Swamp Packs, and we did like 10% of it during Swamp Packs. So we weren't even close to finishing. But you know, we've continued working on it just for fun, and it's turned out kind of cool. Jonas, do you want to explain the rules?
Yeah, so basically 3-2 stacks. For one, just by show of hands, has anyone ever heard of triples and doubles and stacks, you know, by any chance? You see, everyone here at UF I know has said no, which I thought was a shame. So I figured I would make this a little more popular. Basically, it's a variant of Uno where you can place down multiple cards in one turn. For number cards, you can place down multiple cards in ascending or descending order. And you can also place multiple instances of the same card. So for example, the first card, the rule would be the same. So it has to either be the same color or same number. But on top of that first card you place, you can put any sequence of numbers in ascending or descending order. So for example, if the first card you put down is a 1, you can do a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can, again, since you can also put down multiple instances of the same card, you could put down something like 5, 5, 5. You could put them down both together in one turn. So you could do something like 1, 2, 3, 3, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you can also even wrap around the cards. You can go 7, 8, 9, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The only rule with that is that the first card you put down still has to be the same color or number like a normal Uno. And you can't reverse direction in the middle of the hand. So if you start 0, 1, 2, 3, you can't go back 0, 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. And on top of that, you can also stack special cards as well. So if you have multiple +2s, you can put that down and make the person after you draw 6. If you have multiple draw 4s, well, it's the same concept, but even more deadly.
Oh yeah,
And-
like this is trash on mobile, by the way. If you
Yeah.
have a laptop, I would recommend.
It works
that.
though. I could play this.
It works on mobile, but.
It works on mobile. End of period.
But the idea of this is that we wanted to make a version of Uno that's a lot more strategy based than really just relying on whatever your luck of the draw is. Because
Enter a name or it's sus, by the way.
I can't enter a name.
It's the little name bar.
Your name by default is sus.
Oh, wait, what? I can't edit this.
I said we built to bring that name back.
Am I in the game?
Are you? Yeah, so we
Okay,
can
which
fit,
is all sus.
we can fit one more person.
I don't know what sus I am.
All right.
I mean, you guys can make your own literally game.
Oh, also play the background music. Play
Oh yeah, we
Shockwave.
also put in background music.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's like
So you'll go
a
first.
draw 4.
Yeah, rip to the sus.
Yeah, whoever was after us.
Yeah, whoever the player 2.
That you like.
I guess it can do a better job of like letting you.
Yeah. Keep in mind, there's still a lot of work to be done on this. We are much closer to completion than we were back at Swamp X.
It actually kind of works. Who's player 3? Play. We need a ban option.
Okay, there we go.
Ranger.
All right, Ranger.
Maker.
Yeah.
Big.
So as y'all can see, we just dumped down half our hand in one turn.
Okay, Eric, I think that doesn't stop the music.
Oh yeah.
Just play them all at the same time.
Yeah, I think that's
In
it.
case anyone didn't realize, I think we skipped it around. We went to my turn.
Oh my god, you actually did.
It does.
Sam, Blake gets it already. He gets it.
Yeah, if you put down 4 skips, then you'll end up.
No,
skipping
don't tell them. I want them to figure out the hard way.
You end up skipping yourself.
Yeah, Blake's gonna win.
And for the record, we had a discussion about this. We are not gonna make it so that you can't skip yourself. If you don't pay attention, you get what you deserve.
Oh, someone reversed. So we skip. I guess.
You know, maybe we could add like a number and make there's players who are at least like say like names turn.
Oh, I think I'm gonna win.
Oh,
Easy.
hey.
Jesus Christ. Alright. That was 32 stacks.
So yeah, if y'all would like any more of that misery right there, it's 32stacks.com. We will be making updates to this going forward. Thank you very much.
Oh, yeah. Do you want to take over the meeting? You're the president.
I'll take over this for the next like 5 minutes. I'll take over. Okay, so this is the most unrelated thing so far. It's literally just personal finance with credit cards. I just realized a lot of people really don't know about credit cards and like how great they can be. So I thought I just learned this on Saturday at the hackathon. A lot of people just have no idea. You'll see the sponsors later. Just kidding. It won't move. Is there a certain way to? Is this no? Is this? I'm kind of confused. Oh,
It doesn't look like you're clicking on it. You're just clicking on the blank empty space.
well,
You try to go to the next slide.
yeah.
Uh,
Trying to-
Yeah, no, it's like you're not in the presentation.
Oh my God. You're right. Okay, I thought I had it in here. I just want to go to the link.
You were literally on open link and then went down and clicked copy link.
I didn't see it. Okay. Okay. Cool. How does a credit card work? When you use a credit card, the credit card company pays the merchant and then you pay the credit card company later. Okay. So more specifically, it's kind of like a loan. When the credit card company pays the merchant for you, you owe the credit card company that money back. So you're not getting any like free money for that. You're just paying them back at a later date. However, if you pay it in full at the end of the month, you don't pay any interest. So it is just loans for free, okay? No cost if you pay at the end of the month. But if you don't pay fully at the end of the month, you will have to pay interest on your loan. And it's like extremely high interest rates. Like they can be like, I don't know how high they go, but I've seen like 25% like regularly. That's like a quarter of the money you spent. You just have to spend even more. That's just crazy. So you never want to not pay the full amount. A lot of people just use debit cards because they're just like given that and they don't know what else to do. So I would highly suggest credit cards, and here's why. Usually credit cards are free to use. Most don't have an annual fee, and I don't recommend annual fees if you, well, yeah. Advanced fraud protection. On a credit card, if you make a bad purchase, like, or your credit card gets skimmed or something like that, you can, within 60 days, you can just go onto your credit card app, press dispute, and the credit card company will fight for you and not make you pay for that. So it's like, there's nothing easier than that. You just have to press dispute and tell them what happened. Builds credit. You're gonna need credit for like loans and stuff later in life. It'll be good. Cashback. Now, I've personally done something called credit card churning, where you, it's legal. You basically, it's legal. You basically go and get a bunch of credit cards and you just collect all of their rewards, because you like, some of them say like, if you spend $500 in the first 3 months, you get $200 for free. And if you're already spending that much, then that's just $200 free that you get just by doing your regular thing.
And you take out
Yeah, that's a good idea. Double loans. And also, yes.
How many of those like stacks does it take to be considered a Ponzi scheme?
Well, unfortunately, I have looked into this actually. Unfortunately, you can't pay off credit cards with other credit cards, it doesn't seem. But I have not looked into getting loans, like real loans to pay off credit cards. So, I don't know. Also cash back, every time you spend money with good credit cards, you'll get like a couple % cash back for free, just for spending money. So it's really good. But it might be harder to budget for some people, but everyone in here is smart enough, honestly. It's just instead of seeing your bank balance go down, you see your spending go up. That's the hard part, but you can do it. Debit is also free to use usually. But you don't get fraud protection. Once you spend your debit card money, it's gone from your bank account. If it's a fraudulent charge, maybe your bank will work with you to try to get your money back, but maybe they won't be successful. With a credit card, you don't even pay the money to begin with, so you can't lose it, basically. If you notice the fraud, if you notice it. Does not build credit, that's bad, it's a waste. Overdraft fees, if you spend too much, which you could do either way, but if you spend too much on a debit card, probably get a fee for it. Easier to budget because you can just see how much money you have left. It's really easy, but not good enough. The right way to use a credit card. So there's some ways that the reason people are intimidated by credit cards. If you don't do certain things right, it could be bad. So what you want to do is pay in full every month to avoid interest. I just have automatic payments for all of my cards, just so I don't forget. If you miss a payment, it's also really bad for your credit score. So don't miss a payment. Don't spend too much. Obviously, don't overspend. You should only spend as much money as you have. If you spend more money than you have, then you'll have to not pay in full, then you'll owe interest, then you'll be losing money. So just never do that. Treat it like a debit card, like you only have as much as you have, right? And also, if you spend too much, like usually a credit card, when you first get one, you'll get like $500 credit line, meaning you can use $500 that month. If you spend like all 500 of it, the credit card company is going to look at you and be like, wow, you actually had to use all that. That's bad. They'll think like, oh, they're just spending all the money that they don't have or something. They'll just, it doesn't really make sense, honestly, but you should use like 30% of your credit line each month at most, if you can, for your credit score. Optimize your rewards. This is really the big thing. Just get cards that have big promo bonuses and no annual fees. You'll make literally hundreds, maybe thousands of dollars if you get enough credit cards, just by doing nothing, just by getting the credit card and not even paying anything for it. So yeah, each credit card might have a different area where you get more cash back, grocery, gas, dining. Just you might want to get separate credit cards for different activities. If you do get too many credit cards at once, it will throw up some red flags on your credit score. So it's like every 2 years, those inquiries go away. Like every time you get a new credit card, you have to get an inquiry on your credit report. So I've gotten like 4 or 5 in 2 years, and it's been actually good for my credit score. So just don't get more than that, I'm guessing. Last thing on this, another good thing for credit score is your credit history. The longer credit history you have, the better your credit score is. If you cancel a card, that card is removed from your credit history, and it will be like you just haven't had that card ever. So then they'll be like, wow, this person doesn't have any credit and doesn't have any history of credit either. So like, they won't think you know what to do with credit. So that's why you get cards with $0 annual fees, so that you can just have a ton of cards and have no overhead costs. You can just keep them forever without having to worry. So yeah, conclusion, earn a ton of money, build your credit score, advance fraud protection, totally free.
I feel like that was much better than any credit card presentation I got in high school.
Really? You got,
That
I can't believe you got
I
a
saw,
presentation in
like,
high school. That's crazy. Oh yeah. I was really gonna put that in here, but I ran out of time. I'll research that tonight. But if anyone has any questions, feel free to message me or whatever. Yeah. I mean, the thing is, like a lot of those credit cards, like the airline miles and stuff, they usually have like big annual fees, so I usually stay away from them. But if you know you're going to get enough rewards to cover the annual fee every year, then it's just up to you on that one. But yeah, I'm gonna look into some big credit cards, because basically just if you look on YouTube, there's a ton of finance people that are like best credit cards of this month in 2022. And they'll tell you all the great benefits that each card has. So I recommend that.
You made a lot of it.
Yeah, I made like over $1,000 just from.
My God.
Just like a basic point,
Don't use those. Those are usually bad because they'll just default. You can get really good ones easily.
Alrighty, I think I got the last one here again. Okay, so we're gonna talk about the SS Discord emojis. This is basically a history of memes and stuff. Hello, I am Blake Anderson. I am here because I made the SS Discord. I also have 33.4% of messages in the memes channel. I thought that was interesting, and no one cares about the rest. Okay, so problem scope. There are many emojis. Some of them are dumb. We're not going to talk about those because lightning talk. So let's talk about the ones that are like actual memes for SSD. These are in basically alphabetical order because this way. This is Eric. It's Eric. This is just a selfie that Eric took a long time ago. And this is Baby Shark. We're getting yes, we have questions. How do I collect the meme percentage? It's a great question. It's a great question. I have a thing that can download channels and I scan that. So yes. Yeah, I needed it for another thing because like I had to do documentation for like some internship thing. It's a long story, but long story short, I have a package for downloading things ready on Python. So I can just download the whole channel through the Discord API. And then I filtered that by messages that I sent. You might be able to just search, you can probably just search through it using normal Discord, come to think of it. I wish I had thought of that. See, this is why programmers overcomplicate everything. Anyways, this is Andrew. Andrew would spam the hell out of Baby Shark all the time. So there you go. This is mine. So this is from a hackathon where like I ended up winning the hackathon. It was like a day hackathon, right? And it was literally like just me working on the project, and I beat like teams of 4 that were doing like machine learning stuff. Beautiful experience. But yeah, that's why it was called Big Thing.
Make that face, like go back and slide, make that face.
This? I don't know. Help wanted, right? So we do need help with research. We don't actually know where this picture is from. It's just here. So I don't know, maybe this has changed since Saturday when we were all doing this, but we don't know where this is from. So help wanted. This is a dab. It's right now the only Roblox meme, but Roblox kind of has its own thing. Part because of Catherine, who's one of the former officers, as well as Eric. So Roblox is kind of a thing. So here's that. This is Ekans. It's snake backwards, and as you can see, it's just the Discord snake emoji, but backwards / upside down. And so this is actually the first emoji that was ever on the server. It was also the only emoji for a long time until Varun went crazy and added like 20. So there was that. This is JavaScript. JavaScript's obviously a meme. We all know that. If you haven't watched the Watt presentation, then I don't know. You're probably just not a member anyways. This is MATLAB. So Eric's lightning talk on why MATLAB is terrible and bad is probably one of the greatest things that have happened in a long time. So there's that. We also have Minecraft. So Minecraft and the Minecraft server kind of became a thing mainly because I did a lot of Minecraft development when starting out, as mentioned earlier. So that kind of turned into a thing. This is Robust. The emoji, like, so Robust is my programming language, but the emoji here is not the programming language. It's my personal logo. And it's not even exactly my personal logo. Eric just turned up the brightness on it. So it's not even actually my personal logo. It's just a light version of that. Obviously this is the SSD logo. I made this in Microsoft Paint. So yeah, I think the logo happened like 3 or 4 months before the actual organization did, right? Like I'm pretty sure I built the logo like in the end of spring, and the organization was not a thing until like officially September. So yeah. Obviously, I think we all get this. Next question. Oh yeah, and this was the one added later. So Eric just added more emojis while I was building the slides for this, so screw you. But he added Professor Dobbins as an emoji. So Pete Dobbins is actually the advisor for SSD officially. And so that, I also work at the TA with him for a long time. And so obviously I'm one of the meme professors in that regard. Also, he looks different in like every photo you take of him, like a year apart. It's actually kind of weird. So, okay, yeah, here are some honorable mentions of just all around good memes. Here are some other emojis on there. Obviously Bonk is great. We also have the facepalm from Star Trek. That's a huge plus. Firebase is cursed technology. Don't use Firebase. NFT is obviously pure suffering. Like blockchain is sketchy, cryptocurrency is sketchy. NFT makes zero damn sense at all. So there's that. And then we have some other things like the FP. I like Code Spaghetti. Code Spaghetti is like the only actual programming meme we have. We need more of those. Surprise Pikachu is great. And of course, Thonk. Thonk's a classic. And then what are these slides? These are just slides that were part of the template that I used. Here we can see blue is the color of the clear sky in deep sea with a yellow 1. And then down at the bottom, yellow is the color of gold butter and ripe lemons with a red 2. And it just kind of keeps going. And then blue shows up again at the end at 6. Like none of this template makes any sense. Here's another slide. So here's our office, and here are the cities that have been overrun by like mutant tomatoes, I guess. So in case you're wondering, you know, the nearest mutant tomato population is like somewhere around San Francisco. So you should be good if you're like in New York or wherever our office is. Here's this funnel, I guess. The word doesn't even look like funnel. It's a backwards F, but that's okay. And I don't know what this is trying to convey. I really don't.
I don't want to insert my content.
Yeah. Just repeat a request, insert your content. And then now we have the last part, which is the last slide, and that's this one. Also, this text is off center. Now that I've mentioned that, you know, you're welcome to me. Yeah, it came like that in the template. I just didn't change it. So yeah, and there we go. There's all the emojis.
Vector is off center.
There's that too. As far as why this template, I just thought it was fun. Yeah, it's good.
Can you go back to the thanks slide?
Oh, wait, this one?
Yeah. Vector is taking a photo.
Why? We get a full screen photo. Thanks. Ta-da! Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. You should get it with all the memes. This is this.
You left out the Walter White. Like.
Yeah, because no one cares about that one. It's not even an honorable mention.
You just don't care about it.
No, I don't.
Wait, which one? Is it the one where he's like looking at like?
Yeah, it's like the shocked Walter White. It's like the one thing.
Yeah, I feel like that one deserves to be there because that's basically my emotional state 24/7.
All right, make sure you are the president. Close the meeting.
Are there slides for that?
No.
Oh, no.
You can use my slide.
Okay,
He immediately does it.
okay, yeah, there aren't. Thank you, everybody, for coming to the meeting. Hopefully, over the summer, we might not be very active because almost everyone in our officers, I think, is going to be busy. But we're going to try to do some like social kind of events online and stuff. So please join us for that, and definitely join us in the fall. We're going to have a really good time. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Mr.
Okay, there's some messages.
Other notes, I don't know exactly the number, but we are somewhere around the 100th meeting.
Oh
So,
my God.
Yeah, literally 100 SSD meetings.
Exactly.